Chapter 1 SM Introduction to Strategic Management. First, meaning. SM is a discipline that deals with the long-term development of an organization with a clear-cut vision about organizational purpose, scope of activities and objectives. So, it is a discipline deals with the long-term development of an organization, clear-cut vision about the organizational purpose, scope of activities, objectives. Definition of strategic management: determination of basic long-term goals and objectives, long-term goals and objectives of an enterprise and adoption of a course of action. Just we have determined that not enough, so we have to adopt a course of action and allocate the resources as required in necessary to carry out these goals. Next, Michael Porter identifies three principles underlying the strategy. First, unique and valuable market position. Valuable market position, making the trade-off by choosing what not to do. Means two options will be which you want not to do, like that, making trade-off by choosing what not to do. Creating fit by aligning company activities with one another to support the chosen strategy. Creating a fit by aligning company activities with one another to support the chosen strategy. So first, unique and trade-off and fit. Unique, fit, trade-off. Strategic management process. Strategic management is not static. Is not a static but continuous, as it involves continuous appraisal means checking, continuous appraisal of the micro and macro environments, macro environments surrounding the organization, and choosing between the alternatives that meets the objectives, and thereafter reassessment the strategy. If it does not fit the objective, we have to reassess the strategy and we have to come with a new and better strategy. Next, 4 phases of strategic management process. 4 phases. First, environmental scanning, strategy formulation, strategy implementation, strategy evaluation. So E. First, the board of directors and the top management will have to review the current performance scanning. First, environmental scanning, how my organization is performing. So currently they will review the current performance. To review the organization, we'll have to scan. To review the organization, what we have to scan? Internal and external. In internal, strength and weakness will come, because strength will be mine and weakness will be mine, and external opportunities and threat will come from external. So internal is strength and weakness, external is opportunity and threat. Second, strategy formulation. Based on the above environmental scanning, we'll go to the strategy formulation and we'll make a strategy and decide also about the best course of action we have to take to accomplish the objective, and therefore attaining the organizational purpose. After conducting the environmental scanning, managers formulate the corporate business functional strategies. Next, strategy implementation. In that, what they have formulated and what best course they have chosen, that will be implemented. So strategy implementation means putting this chosen strategy into the action. Strategy implementation includes four things. First, design, then distribute, then develop, then manage. Design, distribute, develop, manage. Design, organization structure, distribute the resources. First, you design the organization structure, according to that distribute the resources, and then develop the decision making process, at last manage the HR. Strategy evaluation. This is the final step of strategy management process. Evaluation, assertion means declaration that the organizational strategy as well as its implementation is in line with the organizational objective. So we are giving the declaration that whatever we have, strategy and implementation, both are going in line with the objectives. Strategy leadership. Leadership means ability to influence the others to voluntarily make the decisions that enhance the prospectus for the organization long term success. So it is the ability to influence others voluntarily make the decision that, and so I'm influencing you, you have to take the voluntary like that, you have to take the voluntary by yourself like that, I'm influencing you. That is a strategic leadership, in turn which will help in the organization long-term success while maintaining the long-term financial stability. Not only success, we require the financial stability as well. So this is a strategic leadership, and strategic leadership refers to manager's potential to articulate the strategic vision for the organization, and to motivate, guide, influence his who will for whom we will do motivate, guide, and influence subordinates to attain what? To objectives of the vision. It is ability to influence organizational members and to accomplish organizational change. The main purpose should be clear in mind. What? Strategic productivity. What they have made the strategic, that they have to be productively achieving. So strategic productivity. Another aim of strategic leadership is to generate an environment in which the employee match the organizational in context of the individual job. Sometimes in the process of achieving the organizational goal, the individual has to focus his own individual goals. That should not happen. The environment should be such like that both environmental and organization and individual, both goals should be attained, and individual also needs should be fulfilled. Strategic lead instill a confidence, so he will inbuild a confidence to the employees in an organization to follow their own ideas, so employees should follow their own ideas at moving in the direction of the organizational. So they have to move their own direction, but they have to contribute to the organizational overall goals. Functions, importance of a strategic leader. So this question can be in three forms. First, strategic leader functions or strategic leader importance, or 9 key strategic leadership roles. 9 key strategic leadership roles. 3 types: function, importance, roles. Key strategic leadership means also this only functions, importance, all 3 forms are there to ask the question. First, navigator, strategist, entrepreneur, mobilizer, talent advocate, captivator, global thinker, change driver, enterprise guardian. Navigate, strategist, entrepreneur, mobilizer, talent advocate, captivator, global thinker, change driver, enterprise guardian. So first, navigator quickly works through the complexity of the key issues, problems and opportunity to affect the actions. Means if any problems comes, he will navigate a route to the success. Clearly and quickly works through the complexity of the key issues, problems and opportunities to affect the actions. Second, strategy develop a long range course of action or set of goals to align with the organizational vision. Strategy meaning only they have said. Who will develop? Strategic leader will develop a long range course of action. He will develop an action that or set the goals. He will develop an action or set the goals to align with the organizational vision. Entrepreneur means what? Who will start the business. So identifies and exploits opportunity for a new product, services, market. New product, new service and new market as well. So identifies and exploits opportunity for a new product, service and market. Mobilizer means he will collect, mobilizing the things. Proactively builds and aligns shareholders, capabilities, resources for getting things done quickly and achieving complex objectives. Proactively builds and aligns the stakeholder capabilities, resources for getting things done. Talent advocate, he will ensure that attract the new talent and attract the employees and develop them and retain the talent to ensure that the people with the right skills and motivations to meet the business needs are in the right place at the right time. Captivator build a passion and commitment towards common goal. Builds passion and commitment towards a common goal. Global thinker integrates info from all the sources to develop a well-informed diverse perspective develop a well-informed diverse perspective that can be used to optimize the organizational performance. So global thinker integrates the information from all the sources to develop a well-informed, diverse perspective that can be used to optimize the organizational performance. Change driver. If any changes come suddenly, like we have to shift from physical to electronic mode, so he have to be strong enough to change that drive. Change creates an environment that embrace the change. Enterprise guardian. Ensure the shareholder. Enterprise guardian. Ensure shareholder value creation through courageous decision making. Courageous, why they are saying, means even sometimes the leader has to act against to the management. So courageous decision he had to take that supports the enterprise or unit wide interest. Next, strategic management functions and importance for professional like CS. It is essential that a CS work as a strategist and not as a simple knowledge worker. Work as a strategist. So we have to work as a strategist and not as a simple knowledge worker. CS is required to contemplate the future changes in the macro environment, that is political, economical, social, technological, legal, macro environment, its impact on the industry as well as company. So there are something change happening in the macro environment, that what will impact on our industry as well as the company. Acting as a mediator. So CS should act as a mediator between the board and the shareholders. Communicating with the outside world on various corporate issues. Like in seminars and all, what corporate is facing, they can discuss that they are speaking about communicating the outside the world various corporate issues. At times, while performing CS duties, he may find himself at a crossroad or dilemma where he needs to choose between the two, what is good for the company and what is ethically correct. So even in that situation, he has to be a strategist and think very well. And next, key roles, which are also integral components of a strategic management. Actually, these are the role of the CS. But what they have given, see, a CS in today's era, while discharging his or her professional obligation, has to perform several key roles, which are also integral components of a strategic management. Comment. What do you write? Key roles means key roles of a CS. Keyword for this memory technique is flawless disclosure on MCA. So first, third point, flawless disclosure and reporting. Drafting the governance. Third line, drafting the governance section of the company's annual report and ensuring that all the reports are made available to shareholders according to relevant regulatory requirements. So reporting means what? Related to authorities, and disclosure also related to authorities. What and all governance related is that all we are following, and annual reports and all we have submitting made available to the annual reports are made available to shareholders according to the rules. Flawless representation on MCA. So sixth point, a CS has to represent before various tribunals and courts in order to present the legal issue of the company. In India, CS appears before legal bodies like NCLT, NCLAT, ROC tribunals. Next, M, management of board and committee meetings. Scheduling meetings to proactively managing the agenda, following up meetings, and follow up the actions and report on the matters arising. Compliance with various law, rules and regulations. Compliance with various laws and regulations like SEBI, SCRA, Companies Act and all. Next, A for advisory. As an advisor to the board members, CS must build a good relationship with them, provide impartial or unbiased advice which is in the best interest of the company. Although these tasks are ultimately the responsibility of the chairman, the CS can add value by fulfilling or procuring the fulfillment of these best practices governance requirements on behalf of the chairman. Next, strategic planning is an organization process. Again, this is organization process, we know, bro. Next, say organization process of what? Defining its strategy. So strategic planning is an organization process Strategic planning is an organization process of defining its strategy and allocating its resources to pursue the strategy and allocating the resources to pursue the strategy and allocating the resources to pursue the strategy. Next, strategic planning cycle. Strategic planning cycle. Strategic planning cycle. Like cycle, follow A, B, C, D, E. This is a cycle. After A, B, C, D, like that only it will go to Z. But here cycle will break. What? D, E, in between S will come and last F. D, E, S, F, D, E, S, F, D, E, S, F. So first deliberate the mission of the organization. Deliberate the mission of the first mission. On the chosen mission you have to develop the goals. So once you develop the goals, you have to examine like internal and external. Internal strength and weakness. That will be ourself to accomplish ourself. What is internal environment? External, what opportunities and threats are awaiting for you outside. At last, strength is W, opportunity OT. So finalize the SWOT analysis and formulate the strategy based on the SWOT. Done. Benefits of strategic planning. Benefits of strategic planning. Benefits of strategic planning. Once we do plan, our confidence will improve. So improved results and confidence. Improved results and confidence. And we can focus towards achieving that plan. Next, problem solving. While planning, whatever we have problems, after considering only now we'll prepare problem. So we'll prepare planning. So problem solving. Teamwork. Communication. Greater control. So in first point, positively influence organizational performance. Focus. Good strategic planning forces future thinking and refocuses and re-energizes a disoriented organization. If organization is not so much focused into, it will make sure that all the will be refocused and re-energized. Problem solving. Strategic planning focuses on an organization's most critical problems, choices and opportunities. Teamwork. Strategic planning provides an excellent opportunity to build a sense of teamwork, to promote learning and build a commitment across the organization. All stakeholders have an interest in knowing the direction in which organization is heading and also how the contribution will fit in overall plan. Strategic planning can provide an organization greater control the control on the environment in which it operates. Environment means both external and internal. And limitations. Nice plan we have prepared, but when it comes to implementation, it is very harder. So if not implemented properly while planning, whole planning exercise will go waste, futile. Cost can outweigh the benefits. Cost. A lot of time and money has been consumed, so lot of cost can be outweighed the benefits. So benefits will be less compared to the cost. Developing a poor plan. If you developed a poor plan, whole thing is wasted. Board of Directors and CSR. The Board of Directors plays a pivotal role. Means important role in ensuring the good governance. The contribution of a directors on board is critical to the way of a corporate conduct itself. Board responsibility derived from law, custom and tradition and prevailing the practices. The professionals like CS are best fitted to advise the board to play their role effectively, efficiently. The board's role is to provide entrepreneurial leadership the company within a framework of prudent and effective controls which enables risk to be assessed and managed. First, provide the direction for management. Provide direction. After direction, demonstrate the and ethical leadership. You just provided the direction and left behind. No, you have to show the ethical leadership as well. Ethical leadership to achieve that. What and all you set the objectives. And consistent with the culture and the values. Culture and values. Create a performance culture. So third and fourth is related points. Culture and create a performance culture that drives value creation without exposing the company to excessive risk of a value destruction. Means without value anything reducing, performance culture should be increased. Make well-informed and high-quality decision. Make informed and high-quality decision. Make well-informed and high-quality decision. High-quality decision. Create the right framework for helping directors. Create the right framework for helping directors to meet their statutory duties under the Companies Act, other relevant statutory and regulatory regime. Being accountable particularly to those that the company's capital. To those that provides the company's capital, means shareholders and creditors, debt, debentures, deposits. Think carefully about its governance arrangements and embrace evaluation of their effectiveness. So first, provide the direction. After that, ethical leadership, and then be consistent with the culture and values, and create a performance culture. Like among 4 people, only 2 are working, rest 2 are spending leisure time. So you create a performance culture in that all should work and values should not be distracted. Make well-informed and high-quality decision, which should be according to the business, and create a right framework for helping the directors. Being accountable, think carefully. CSR is an interdisciplinary subject in nature and encompasses it in its fold. First, SEEM, SEEM. S for social, E for economic, E for ethical, and M for moral responsibility. Social, economic, ethical, moral. Social, economic, ethical, and moral responsibilities of companies and its managers. Compliance with legal and voluntary requirements for business and professional practice. Challenges posed by the needs of the economy and social disadvantaged groups. Challenges. Management of a CSR activities. Corporate responsibility activities, proper implementation of a projects taken up by company so that the benefits goes to people in a need. Definition of CSR. CSR means the activities undertaken by a company in pursuance of its statutory obligations laid down in section 135 of the Act in accordance with the provisions contained in these rules, but not include. So CSR not which activities is an employees and all that we have to write. Next, benefits of CSR. Second point, CSR builds up a positive image, encouraging social involvement of employees. CSR builds a positive image, encouraging social involvement of employees. Company social involvements discourage the excessive regulations. And fourth, internal activities of organization have impact on the external environment. So what we are doing in the internal activities of organization will have the impact on the external environment, since the society has an interdependent system. Like if we throw the waste into the river, so it will get affected external environment. Next, companies can better address the grievances of its employees, create an employment opportunity for the unemployed. Factors influencing CSR. First, globalization. Government and intergovernmental bodies. Advances in communication technology. Consumer and investors are showing interest in supporting of responsible business practices and environmental issues, like instead of plastic packaging, now paper packaging. Numerous serious and high-profile breaches of corporate ethics have contributed to elevated public mistrust. If company is not doing good or any serious or high-profile breach is there, mistrust of the company. Citizens in many countries are making it clear that corporations should meet standards of social, so they are okay with meeting the social and environmental care no matter where they operate. Ethical persons should be attracted to join the company. If their companies are ethical, operating in an ethical way, so ethical people only will be attracted to do work. So factors once again: breach of the corporate ethics, consumers and investors, communication technology, government and intergovernmental bodies, globalization, reduced risk of business disruption, standards for social and environmental care. Role of board in CSR related activities. Approve the CSR policy, disclose contents of such policy in report. If it is a company act, then board report. If it is a SEBI or SEBI, in annual report, and also place on company's website. Ensure that the activities included in CSR policy are undertaken by the company. Ensure that the company spends in every financial year at least 2%. Satisfy itself regarding utilization of the dispersed CSR funds. If the company fails to spend, then should specify the reason in section 134 and alter the annual action plan based on the reasonable justification. So company can alter annual action plan with reasonable justification. Apart from the board, the board of the company can also take decision on the following important matters. Matters relating to monitoring of all the projects, whether ongoing or not an ongoing. Administrative overhead, setting of excess amount, transfer of capital assets, CSR report, impact assessment report, disclosure on the website. CSR and corporate governance. For this, first we have to define the CSR and corporate governance, and then we have to write this para. Even this topic has been given in the CSR module also in page 142. Objectives of corporate governance. Properly constituted board capable of taking independent and objective decisions. Board is independent in terms of NED and ID, and board adopted transparent procedures and practices. So all related to board. Corporate governance means board, how the board is working, that will be checked, whether properly constituted, whether composition independent and IDs are there or no, whether the board adopts the transparent procedures and practices or not, if any effective machinery has been taken or no to serve the concerns of stakeholders, and to monitor the functioning of the management team, what action they are taking. And properly constituted board is capable of taking independent objective decisions. Same repeated again, that's all. And whether the board remains in effective control of the affairs means how the company's affairs are going on is in the control of the board to monitor the functioning of the management team. Corporate governance and role of CS. Corporate governance and role of CS. So in box they gave company secretary act as a vital link between company and board, shareholders and other stakeholders. So he has act as a link between company and all outsiders like shareholders, stakeholders, regulatory authorities and all. Company and its board, shareholders and all plays a key role in ensuring that the board procedures are followed and regularly reviewed. Provides a board with the guidance. First link, next role, next guidance, next compliance officer and member. Guidance as to duties, responsibilities and powers under various laws and regulations. Act as a compliance officer as well as the in-house legal counsel. It is an important member of a corporate management team and act as a concise keeper of the company. However, to be an effective player of strategic management, a company secretary need to embrace the following core competences. First, possess thorough knowledge. First, he have to have knowledge, right? Then only he can do anything. Knowledge of a company's business. Sound knowledge of first company, then law. Company, then law. Means if first he can understand the company, then only he can understand on company which laws is applicable. Next, must have a strong communication and professional skills. Like now we have identified, so you have to communicate like these laws have been applied on your company. So professional skills, legal skills, management skills and IT skills, and being sensitive to the thoughts and feelings of the board and CEO. If CEO or management done anything in a wrong way, directly he cannot say you have done it in a wrong way. In polite way, he have to say. Remaining calm under pressure and not losing sight of perspective, being flexible, creative and detailed, being able to work and achieve consensus with the multidisciplinary settings. And we are done with chapter 1. Thank you. Happy learning.